Over 60? Eat these 3 brain-boosting foods to prevent Alzheimer. Are you over 60 and concerned about keeping your mind sharp as you age? What if I told you that 3 simple foods sitting in your local grocery store right now could be the key to protecting your brain from Alzheimer's disease? In the next 20 minutes, you're going to discover scientifically backed nutrition secrets that could dramatically reduce your risk of cognitive decline. We'll explore how these powerful brain-boosting foods work at the cellular level, why timing matters when you eat them, and the shocking mistake most people make that actually accelerates brain aging. But here's the thing, this isn't just about prevention. You'll also learn how these foods can improve your memory, focus, and mental clarity, starting within weeks. By the end of this video, you'll have a complete action plan that you can start implementing today. So stick around because what you're about to learn could change everything about how you approach brain health. Have you ever walked into a room and completely forgotten why you went there? Or struggled to remember the name of someone you've known for years? These moments can be terrifying, especially when you're wondering if they're early signs of something more serious. The truth is, millions of Americans over 60 are asking themselves these same questions every single day. But what if the solution isn't found in expensive supplements or complicated medical procedures? What if the answer is sitting right there in your kitchen? Let's start with something that might surprise you. Did you know that your brain uses about 20% of all the energy your body produces? That's right. This 3-pound organ in your head is working around the clock, even when you're sleeping. And just like any high-performance machine, it needs premium fuel to function at its best. The question is, are you giving your brain the nutrition it desperately needs to fight off Alzheimer's disease? The first brain-boosting powerhouse we need to talk about is something you probably already love: blueberries. But before you think this is just another generic health tip, let me share something that will blow your mind. These tiny blue gems contain compounds called anthocyanins, and here's where it gets fascinating. When researchers at the University of Cincinnati studied adults with mild cognitive impairment, they found that those who consumed blueberry juice daily for 12 weeks showed significant improvements in memory and learning ability. But why does this happen? Think about your brain like a bustling city with millions of roads connecting different neighborhoods. As we age, these roads, which scientists call neural pathways, can become damaged by something called oxidative stress. It's like rust forming on metal, slowly breaking down the connections that allow your thoughts and memories to flow freely. Now, here's where blueberries become your brain's best friend. Those anthocyanins I mentioned? They act like a repair crew, fixing the damaged roads and even building new ones. But here's a question that might change how you think about blueberries. When you eat them, does it matter? Research suggests that consuming blueberries in the morning might be more beneficial than eating them later in the day. Your brain is most active during morning hours, and that's when it needs the most protection from oxidative damage. Are you currently eating blueberries? And if so, what time of day do you usually have them? Now, let's move on to the second brain-protecting food that might surprise you: fatty fish. When I say fatty fish, I'm talking about salmon, mackerel, sardines, and anchovies. I know what you're thinking. Anchovies? Really? But stay with me because this is where the science gets really exciting. These fish are loaded with omega-3 fatty acids, specifically DHA and EPA. Your brain is actually about 60% fat, and DHA makes up a significant portion of that fat. It's literally a building block of your brain tissue. Here's something most people don't realize. Your body cannot produce DHA on its own in meaningful amounts. You have to get it from your diet. And here's the kicker. Studies have shown that people with higher levels of DHA in their blood have larger brain volumes and better cognitive performance as they age. It's like the difference between driving a car with high-quality motor oil versus cheap, watered-down oil. Which one do you think will keep the engine running longer? The research on this is absolutely remarkable. A study published in the journal Neurology followed over 1,600 adults for several years and found that those who ate fish at least once a week had a 60% lower risk of developing Alzheimer's disease. 60%. That's not a small improvement. That's life-changing. But here's what really matters. How often are you currently eating fatty fish? Once a week? Twice a month? Or maybe you're avoiding it altogether because of concerns about mercury, or because you simply don't like the taste. Let me address those concerns because they're important. When it comes to mercury, the key is choosing the right types of fish. Smaller fish like sardines and anchovies are actually very low in mercury because they're lower on the food chain. They haven't had time to accumulate heavy metals like larger, older fish. And regarding taste, there are so many delicious ways to prepare these fish that even the pickiest eaters can find something they enjoy. Have you ever tried salmon with a honey glaze or sardines mixed into a pasta sauce? But here's where timing becomes crucial again. Your body absorbs omega-3 fatty acids best when they're consumed with other fats. This means that having your fish with a small amount of olive oil, avocado, or even nuts can significantly increase the absorption. Are you paying attention to how you're combining your foods for maximum benefit? Now let's talk about the third brain-boosting food, and this one might be the most surprising of all: dark leafy greens. I'm talking about spinach, kale, collard greens, and Swiss chard. You might be thinking, how can vegetables protect my brain? Well, prepare to be amazed by what researchers have discovered. These greens are absolutely packed with nutrients that your brain craves: folate, vitamin K, lutein, and nitrates. But here's the mind-blowing part. A study that followed nearly 1,000 adults for 5 years found that those who ate just one serving of leafy greens daily had brains that functioned as if they were 11 years younger than those who rarely ate greens. 11 years younger. Can you imagine having the mental sharpness you had more than a decade ago? The secret lies in how these nutrients work together. Folate helps reduce homocysteine levels in your blood. High homocysteine is associated with brain shrinkage and increased risk of dementia. Vitamin K plays a crucial role in brain metabolism and has anti-inflammatory properties. Lutein, which gives these greens their vibrant color, actually accumulates in brain tissue and helps protect against cognitive decline. And nitrates? They improve blood flow to the brain, ensuring that this vital organ gets all the oxygen and nutrients it needs to function optimally. But here's a question that could change everything. How are you preparing your leafy greens? Many people make a critical mistake that actually destroys many of these beneficial compounds. Overcooking greens can break down the delicate nutrients we need. Light steaming or eating them raw in salads preserves the maximum nutritional value. Are you overcooking your vegetables without realizing it? Here's something else that might shock you about leafy greens. The soil they're grown in makes a huge difference. Conventionally grown greens often have lower levels of minerals compared to organic varieties. This is because commercial farming practices can deplete soil nutrients over time. When you're fighting for your brain health, every bit of nutrition counts. Are you choosing organic when possible, or is this something you haven't considered? Let's dive deeper into how these three foods work together to create a powerful defense against Alzheimer's disease. You see, brain deterioration doesn't happen overnight. It's a gradual process that can begin decades before symptoms appear. Scientists call this the preclinical phase of Alzheimer's. During this time, harmful proteins called amyloid plaques and tau tangles start accumulating in the brain, slowly disrupting normal function. This is where our three brain-boosting foods become absolutely crucial. The antioxidants in blueberries help prevent the formation of these harmful proteins. The omega-3 fatty acids in fish help maintain the integrity of brain cell membranes and reduce inflammation. The nutrients in leafy greens support overall brain metabolism and protect against vascular damage. It's like having a three-part security system protecting your most valuable asset, your mind. But here's a critical question. How long do you need to eat these foods to see benefits? The research suggests that consistency is key. You can't eat blueberries for a week and expect to be protected for life. Your brain needs a steady supply of these nutrients to maintain its defenses. Think of it like taking a daily vitamin, but instead of swallowing a pill, you're enjoying delicious whole foods. Here's something that might concern you. What if you've already noticed some memory issues? Is it too late to start protecting your brain? The remarkable thing about brain health is that it's never too late to make improvements. Your brain has an amazing ability called neuroplasticity. It can actually form new connections and even grow new brain cells throughout your life. Studies have shown that even people with mild cognitive impairment can see improvements when they adopt brain-healthy eating patterns. Let me share a real-world example that illustrates this perfectly. Researchers conducted a study called the Mind Diet Trial, which emphasized foods like the ones we're discussing today. Participants who followed this eating pattern for just 6 months showed measurable improvements in cognitive function tests. 6 months. That's not a lifetime commitment. That's less time than it takes to plan a vacation. But here's where many people go wrong. They try to change everything at once. Have you ever decided to completely overhaul your diet on a Monday, only to give up by Wednesday? The key to success is starting small and building habits gradually. What if you just added a handful of blueberries to your breakfast this week? Or replaced one meat meal with fish? Small changes compound over time to create massive results. Speaking of compound effects, let's talk about something most people completely overlook: the synergistic effect of combining these foods. When you eat blueberries, fish, and leafy greens together, something magical happens. The nutrients work together in ways that amplify their individual benefits. For example, the vitamin C in blueberries helps your body absorb the iron in spinach more effectively. The healthy fats in fish help you absorb the fat-soluble vitamins in your greens. This brings up an important question about meal planning. Are you thinking about how your foods work together, or are you just focusing on individual nutrients? Creating meals that combine brain-boosting foods isn't complicated, but it does require some intentional planning. A salmon salad with spinach and blueberries, for instance, gives you all 3 powerhouse foods in one delicious meal. Here's something else to consider. The quality of these foods matters tremendously. Not all blueberries are created equal. Wild blueberries, which are smaller and more intensely colored, actually contain higher levels of anthocyanins than their larger cultivated cousins. When it comes to fish, wild-caught varieties typically have better omega-3 profiles than farm-raised fish. And with leafy greens, fresher is always better. Nutrients start breaking down as soon as vegetables are harvested. This raises an important question about your shopping habits. Are you reading labels and asking questions about where your food comes from? Many people assume that all versions of a food are nutritionally equivalent, but that's simply not true. Taking the time to choose high-quality versions of these brain-boosting foods can significantly impact their effectiveness. Let's address something that concerns many people: the cost. You might be thinking, this all sounds great, but organic blueberries and wild-caught salmon are expensive. It's a valid concern, but let's put this in perspective. What's the cost of cognitive decline? What's the value of maintaining your independence and quality of life as you age? When you frame it that way, investing in brain-healthy foods becomes one of the best investments you can make. Plus, there are ways to make these foods more affordable. Frozen blueberries are just as nutritious as fresh ones and often cost less. Canned salmon and sardines provide the same omega-3 benefits as fresh fish at a fraction of the cost. And buying leafy greens in season or growing your own can dramatically reduce expenses. Are you exploring all your options, or are you letting cost be a barrier to better brain health? Here's something that might surprise you about the research on these foods. The benefits go far beyond just preventing Alzheimer's disease. People who eat these brain-boosting foods regularly report better mood, improved sleep quality, increased energy levels, and even better cardiovascular health. It's like getting multiple health benefits for the price of one dietary change. How amazing is that? But let's get practical for a moment. How much of these foods do you actually need to eat to get benefits? The research suggests that 1 cup of blueberries 3 times per week, 2 servings of fatty fish per week, and 1 serving of leafy greens daily can provide significant protection. That's not an overwhelming amount. It's probably less than you're imagining. Here's a question that could change your perspective entirely. What would your life look like if you could maintain sharp mental function well into your 80s and 90s? Imagine being able to remember your grandchildren's names, follow complex conversations, and continue pursuing hobbies you love. These aren't unrealistic dreams. They're achievable goals when you give your brain the nutrition it needs. The science behind brain nutrition is advancing rapidly, and what we're learning is both exciting and empowering. Your brain health isn't entirely determined by genetics. While family history plays a role, lifestyle factors, especially diet, have a profound impact on your cognitive trajectory. You have more control over your brain's future than you might think. This brings us to an important point about prevention versus treatment. While these foods can provide some benefits even after cognitive decline has begun, they're most powerful when used preventively. If you're in your 50s or 60s and still cognitively healthy, now is the perfect time to start protecting your brain for the decades ahead. Are you being proactive about your brain health, or are you waiting for problems to appear? Let me share something that might motivate you. The earlier you start eating these brain-boosting foods, the more protection you build up over time. Think of it like contributing to a retirement account. The earlier you start, the more compound benefits you receive. Your brain will thank you not just next year, but potentially for the next 20 or 30 years. Here's a practical tip that many people find helpful. Start by focusing on one meal at a time. Maybe breakfast becomes your brain-boosting meal. You could have a smoothie with blueberries and spinach, or smoked salmon on whole grain toast. Once that becomes a habit, you can expand to other meals. Small, consistent changes are more sustainable than dramatic overhauls. One thing that often surprises people is how quickly they start noticing differences when they consistently eat these brain-boosting foods. Many report feeling mentally sharper within just a few weeks. This isn't necessarily because their brain structure has changed that quickly, but because optimal nutrition helps their existing brain function work more efficiently. Have you ever noticed how much better you think when you're well-nourished versus when you're running on empty? As we wrap up this comprehensive look at brain-boosting foods, I want to leave you with something to think about. Your brain is working right now to process every word of this information, to form memories of what you're learning, and to help you make decisions about your health. Doesn't an organ that works this hard deserve the best nutrition you can provide? The choice is yours. You can continue eating the same way you always have and hope for the best, or you can take action starting today to protect your cognitive future. The research is clear. Blueberries, fatty fish, and dark leafy greens can significantly reduce your risk of Alzheimer's disease and support optimal brain function as you age. Remember, it's not about perfection, it's about progress. Every blueberry you eat, every serving of salmon you enjoy, and every forkful of spinach you consume is an investment in your brain's future. Your cognitive health is worth fighting for, and now you have the knowledge to do exactly that. If you've made it to the end of this video, you're clearly serious about protecting your brain health, and that's something to be proud of. I want you to do 3 things right now. First, hit that like button to let me know this information was valuable to you. Second, subscribe to this channel because we're going to continue exploring cutting-edge research on brain health, and you won't want to miss what's coming next. Third, I want you to leave a comment below telling me which of these 3 brain-boosting foods you're most excited to add to your diet: blueberries, fatty fish, or leafy greens. Your comment will help other viewers in our community, and I personally read every single one. And finally, make sure to watch the next video that's appearing on your screen right now, because we're diving even deeper into brain health strategies that could change your life.